As you can see by the trees, fall is in full effect here in Ohio. Trees are changing, temperatures dropping, Halloween decorations are up, Spirit Halloween is back. It's my favorite time of year to ride also. Today I wanted to go over 5 tips I had mostly for new riders or anyone who's moving to a climate where you get all 4 seasons for the first time. 5 tips on riding in fall. Look at that, the trees changing. Yeah, it is very windy. That is one thing that comes with fall, is it usually gets windier and rainier. Anyway, my first tip is make sure you're extra careful about checking your tire pressure. With the temperature fluctuations, and it fluctuates a lot, especially here in Ohio, tire pressure might change a bit. You might want to, you should be checking that every time you ride in the first place, but I'll be honest, I don't have the time. I'm bad about that. I know a lot of other people are. I know people who go the entire season without checking their tire pressure. That's a little ridiculous, but I would recommend being extra careful about checking your tire pressure, because the temperature fluctuations might cause your tires to lose a little bit of pressure, and you don't want to be expecting your bike to feel one way and have it handle a completely different way. As an example, 3 days ago it was 83 degrees here, and then last night it got down to 40. So big temperature changes in pretty short amounts of time, and today it's up to I think almost 70. It's actually pretty nice today, but big temperature changes. I had to put air in my tires this morning, so keep an eye on that. The next tip I have is keep an eye out for leaves on the road, especially wet leaves. With fall coming, that means more rain usually. And in addition to keeping an eye on the things you usually keep an eye on, like the paint is usually wet, or slippery and wet, manhole covers, things like that, keep an eye out for leaves, because wet leaves are like ice. You just be sliding on those. So accelerating, braking, going through corners, keep an eye out, especially if you're riding through some woods, through a nice park or something, trying to enjoy the leaves that are still on the trees. Make sure you're keeping an eye on the ground for wet leaves. The next tip I have is make sure you're extra diligent about checking the weather. Like I said, there's big temperature changes, big temperature fluctuations, a lot more rain and stuff like that. The last thing you want to do is, say like today, it's 67 degrees right now. I'm pretty comfortable. I have a hoodie on and my jacket, but later tonight it's supposed to get down, I think, into the 40s again. And if I was still out riding, I'd be probably pretty cold in what I'm wearing right now. And if you're cold, your body usually tenses up to try to keep warm. And if you're tense on the controls, you're not going to have as much control over the motorcycle. So for your safety and also for your comfort, make sure you're prepared. Tip number 4 to go off that last one is, layer up, or at least wear the appropriate gear. Later in the riding season, we're not quite there yet, but it's going to get down, obviously, 50s, 40s. And, I'm usually good to keep riding down into the maybe 40s for shorter rides, down to maybe 50 for longer ones. But in those temperatures, it can get pretty cold if you're not dressed appropriately. So make sure you either have gear for cooler weather or can layer up to make sure you keep yourself nice and warm, for the same reason as the last tip. You don't want to be all tense, and also, for the sake of your comfort. Damn, that shit did not want to shift. My last tip is to try to enjoy the season to its fullest. I think fall rides is some of my favorite time of the year to ride, except when people pull out in front of me doing 20 under. Second only maybe to summer nights. But yeah, try to enjoy the season. Find some back roads like this. If that's an option near you, try to enjoy the colors on the trees. If you're cold when you're riding and you like coffee, stop at a coffee shop, get some fall themed drink, Good way to warm up. Hell, go pumpkin picking and try to put your pumpkin on your motorcycle. I'm sure someone could figure it out logistically. It can't be that hard. I guess depending how big the pumpkin is. fall is some of my favorite time to ride, so I just wanted to share a few tips that hopefully can make your first fall somewhere where you actually get fall a more enjoyable and hopefully safer experience as well. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments or anything like that. If you like this bike, the ZX6R, I make a lot of videos on it. I also have a Grom and a Triumph Street Scrambler if you're interested in either one of those. Maybe check them out on the channel, see if there's anything that you like. Anyway, I'll see y'all next time, and thanks for watching.